weights have been lifted. Sprints have been run. Preparation for today's game is history. It's time to get it done. You're listening on MichiganSportsRadio.com.
A father watches his son win the same title he won 30 years later in one of the best finishes on the ice in the history of the MHSAA. I'm John Ross, and this is This Week in High School Sports, powered by Michigan Student Aid.
Face off in the right circle. Cooper Gerhardt to take the draw. Comes on back to Zarnicki. Kept in. And there's a breakaway chance. Goal! Mason Zarnicki may have ended the drought for Powers Catholic. It comes with 4.6 seconds left.
That was Joe Jason and MHSAA TV on the call as Flint Powers beat East Grand Rapids 3-2 in the MHSAA Ice Hockey Division III Finals. The game-winning goal came with just 4 seconds left. The win is Flint Powers' first in the championship game after finishing as the runner-up 7 previous times. In Division II, Bloomfield Hills Brother Rice found themselves down 2-0 to Byron Center in the third period before roaring back to win 4-2. The title is Brother Rice's 7th on the ice. And in Division I, Detroit Catholic Central shut out Brighton 3-0 in a rematch of last year's title game. The Shamrocks have now won 4 straight MHSAA titles, and this year they became the first team in the 49-year history of the ice hockey tournament to not allow a playoff goal. DCC outscored opponents 30-0 during their playoff run. For more on the championship weekend at USA Hockey Arena in Plymouth, check out MHSAA.com. Game balls this week go to the Rockford Gymnastics team, who captured a second straight team title. The Rams recorded the top score on vault, floor exercise, and beam on way to their 5th title since 2015. To Michigan Center's Adrian Putnam, he scored 23, including 13 in the fourth quarter, as Michigan Center knocked off Napoleon for a boys basketball district title. And to St. Charles's Lena Harger, she scored 11 as the Bulldogs captured their first ever basketball regional championship.
For high school seniors, the matchup of the year isn't on the field. It's actually online. That's right. When you fill out the FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid, you could also be eligible for thousands of dollars in additional money from the Michigan Achievement Scholarship. Yep, nearly 80% of students who fill out the FAFSA may be eligible. Now that's a matchup we can all root for. Get started today at michigan.gov/achievement. The Michigan Achievement Scholarship. It's a game changer.
Our weekly Be the Referee feature takes a look at the fine art of officiating with registered official Paige Winnie.
When watching a college or NBA game, the last 2 minutes of the game can seem like it takes forever, especially in recent years where more and more judgment calls made by officials are subject to instant replay. At the high school level, video is not used to make a ruling or confirm or overturn a call made during the course of the contest. The only time video review is used in basketball at the high school level is at the MHSAA semifinal and final games. In these games, video review can be used only to determine if a shot was released in time at the end of the fourth quarter or overtime, or if that shot was a 2-point or 3-point field goal attempt. The MHSAA believes that this very limited use of replay in these games at the very end of the tournament series in boys and girls basketball is the right call.
Thanks, Paige. Now more than ever, we need officials. If you're interested, go to the MHSAA website now to register. In the pool, the boys' Lower Peninsula Swimming and Diving Championships were this past weekend. In Division I, Ann Arbor Pioneer won their 3rd straight finals title. Senior Gabriel Sanchez Burks had 2 individual firsts and was on 2 relay winning teams for the Pioneers. In D2, Birmingham Groves narrowly defeated Detroit UD Jesuit. It was Groves' first swim and dive title since 2010. And in Division III, Bloomfield Hills, Cranbrook, Kingswood knocked off East Grand Rapids, the defending champs. One of the highlights from the weekend came in Division II. Grosse Pointe South senior Logan Hepner repeated as the top diver. His win this year comes 30 years after his father, Chad, won a final championship in diving for GPS. For more on this and everything else MHSAA, please check us out online. You've been listening to This Week in High School Sports, powered by Michigan Student Aid, a production of the MHSAA Network. Thanks for joining us. I'm John Ross. We'll see you next week.
Over the timeline to Gable. Gable straight to the basket. Elevates. Slams it down over top of Orbaugh. Oh my goodness, the tomahawk jam.
The ball is tipped, and there you are. You're running for your life. You're a shooting star in all the years.
Driver pounds the rock, looking for a passing lane. Got some motion going, got a right corner for Hagel. Pounded defensively by Dudley. Step back three for the lead. Buries it pure. Kobe Hagelin, 40-39 West Ottawa. A step back triple. Absolutely cold-blooded from Hagelin. Giving on to Titus. Titus angles, pull-up shot for the lead. Good. Brady Titus, a scream to the heavens after he knocks it down. And the Hudsonville Eagles are state champions for the first time in school history. They bob at center court. Head coach Casey Glass, in his 12th season, has taken the Eagles to the mountaintop. They are state champions. And it's the ultimate revenge for Tri-Unity. Another state championship for Coach Keeler's squad. The defenders of Tri-Unity Christian, state champions in Division 4. 56-45 the final. A rematch 6 years in the making. This is Game Night on Michigan Sports Radio. Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timmer, and CT. I say 6 years, but it's actually even more than that in terms of this exact setting. West Ottawa, Hudsonville, and Muskegon. A regional championship on the line. 2015 was when they met here in this building for the true rematch going back. And what you found in that game, a 4-overtime thriller. Muskegon survived on that day, and now a little bit of revenge. We're multiple classes past. We were still in high school then, but you know that these two communities certainly still have the juice from that moment. That here was 8 years ago, and yeah, I can't even wait, and I can't even begin to talk about this one. It's going to be that good. This is March on MGM. Chandler, your first thoughts. Muskegon, Hudsonville, we got so much to get into in the X's and O's, but this is a game that goes well beyond just the X's and O's.
Yeah, that game you talked about, that's one that it's an all-time classic. You don't forget about that, and everyone associated with these programs is going to remember that. And, of course, got some different players now, as that was a while back, but definitely something that these coaches and the fans are going to draw back to. And so when you kind of that thought starts to go through your mind when these teams run the regional semifinals on Monday night, and, of course, each able to win that matchup, and now you start looking to the storylines here tonight, and that's one of the ones that jumps out immediately at you.
Yeah, absolutely, and we've got a ton to get to. At the end of the day, respected coaches on either side. With Coach Guy, Coach Elliott, they've been here a long time. They were both here in that 2015 clash. You know, you're looking at clashing styles, looking at a packed gym once again. We had 2,700 tickets. Not a math guy. I've proven that twice now. 2,700 tickets sold on Monday night for the two games. I think they're expecting here at West Ottawa somewhere around 2,000 plus again tonight. It's going to be absolutely packed in here one more time. We have got a lot to get to here on the Scott Bates Farmers Insurance Agency pregame show, so make sure you do not go anywhere. When we get back, we're going to take a look back at that 2015 game. We're going to get some highlights as well and start to break down some of the things you can expect to see. Hudsonville Muskegon Region 3 championship game here in Division 1 is on deck.
Jerry opened the letter. An eviction notice? He and his family couldn't bear to move again. It was warm and they had plenty of space for their acorns. Anxiety took a hold of him. Then suddenly...
You've got squirrels in your engine and they chew through the wiring.
And it was covered thanks to a farmer's agent. Engine Bay Squatters, May 23rd, 2015. Talk to farmers. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Contact the Scott Bates Agency today at 616-531-3441. Your local farmer's agent who helps you plan for the unexpected.
I'm Randy Hansen, president of Centennial Securities. I've heard it said that professional coaches measure success in rings, college coaches measure success in championships, and high school coaches measure it in titles. But youth coaches measure success in smiles. At Centennial Securities, we're like the youth coach. Our success is measured by the smiles on the faces of our satisfied clients. If you're a Centennial Securities customer, you know what I mean. If you're not, isn't it about time?
Member SIPC and FINRA.
MGN, here's the drive. I am Chandler 2.
Oh, wow.
We're going to leave this in.
All right.
This is staying in the show. He is Chandler Timmer. I am Nate Dreyer. This is what happens when you work together for 6 years. The names are one.
We're just one, yeah.
Chandler Timmer, Nate Dreyer. Chandler Timmer, Nate Dreyer. Michigan game night, tailgate report. We clearly have to stop talking. I do at least. I will see you all. I see you too. Friday night, Granville, Wyoming. I think 6:30. We're on the air for that. Goodbye. All right, welcome back, everyone, to the Scott Bates Farmers Insurance Agency pregame show. And he has returned. He's still on the beach. We've been bugging him about it all week long, but Chandler Timmer joins me here on the Bates Agency pregame show. CT, you seem to be doing better than the rest of us.
Yeah, I know it's pretty nice down here. I kind of like covering basketball this way.
I'm sure you do.
Looking to this moving forward.
I can't blame you one bit. All right.
Rather than just always relying on one player.
Yeah, Scott Bates Agency pregame show continues here on game night on Michigan Sports Radio. CT, I think the next thing that you have to mention most notably in this contest is break me every time still. Every single time that happens, it gets me. The winners still go to the Heartland student section last year at the Breslin Center. Those guys win every time. Season. And we'll wrap up our broadcast with the Heinz Orthodontics smile of the game. Grown at that point guard position. Tough backcourt in general. Getting to some of those other pieces that we have out there. After 3 years, it finally almost came down on me. Good catch. I don't know what kid caught that, but that was a good catch. But regardless, a tough backcourt. Your flight's at 5 or your?
Yeah, the flight out of Panama City is like at 5, and we don't get home till like midnight. So
that sucks. So you're actually, that was a lie. You're not going to be tuning in.
Yeah, no. If I'm at the airport at that time, I will be, but I'm likely missing most of it.
Okay. All right, welcome back, everyone, to the Scott Bates Farmers Insurance Agency pregame show, game night on Michigan Sports Radio. Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timmer. We are here at West Ottawa High School, the regional championship on the line here tonight. It's Muskegon, and it is Hudsonville in the rematch of a game that is 8 years, not 6 years, in the making again. Not a math guy. Please don't ever hold me to that, especially when I write it down and can't read my own handwriting. But regardless, 2015, the battle between these two teams, I think, was, like you said, an all-time classic between these two. And I think it's a good time to first take a look back. We think Fox 17 was able to go back in the archives and was able to find their broadcast from that night. Let's take a look at what happened the last time these two teams met in a regional championship right here in this gym.
In Class A. Tonight, they're meeting at West Ottawa. Winner gets a trip to Lansing Eastern on Tuesday. Buckle up. Third quarter, Muskegon. Michael Littlejohn to Deontay Davis. Muskegon up 3 after 3. Less than 3 left. That shot's missed. Davis gets called for the loose ball, slams the ball. That's a tee. That's his 5th foul. He's out. Just over a minute to go. Hudsonville down 3. Bryce Elliott changes things. Tied at 47. We go to OT. Then a second OT. And in that second frame, Brent Hibbets scoring on the fast break. That'll put the Eagles up 2. But even without Didi, Muskegon responds. Hip-Hop Kennedy right back the other way with the J. We're going to 3 overtimes and then a 4th overtime where Michael Littlejohn, after a bucket there, is going to get a 3 from the corner to put the Big Reds up. And then later, Littlejohn, who has been huge these last 2 games, takes the pass, gets another bucket. He had the first 8 points of the 4th overtime when Muskegon pulls away and survives in 4 OTs, 70-60.
I think our guys, played as good as they could, and we're not a one-man show. We got some guys that can play the game of basketball, and they showed it tonight. It's a total team effort. Jovier stepped up, Michael Littlejohn. We had some guys make some plays, so we're just thankful to God for the victory tonight.
I'm very proud of the team. I just told them to stay humble, and that's what they did. And then we had a couple other guys came and made plays like they usually do.
All right. Well, first off, congratulations to Keith Guy for being the only person in the last 7-8 years to literally not age 1 day. So first off, shout out to him. That was my first takeaway from that clip. The second takeaway, the kind of energy that you saw in the gym that night, we can expect to see again. Deontay Davis, the eventual Michigan State center as well, a part of that game that helped set up this matchup here tonight, Chandler. And I guess let's talk about the emotions of this game a little bit, because yes, you've got kids that were in elementary school or younger when that game took place. But with that said, there is an element of these communities. I think for Hudsonville in particular, there's a little bit of a revenge factor still in this game, being back in this gym. And yes, they've had regional, they've had matchups afterwards in the last few years also, but they haven't had this matchup at this gym in this moment with these teams of conflicting, contrasting styles. It's a fascinating day in terms of just looking at kind of the energy that we're going to see.
Yeah, for sure. I think, of course, the different players a part of it and going to change things. But I think the big factor is both these coaches were here at the time. I think, recently enough that hasn't been any change over there for these programs, and they're thankful for that. Both these teams are. And so, of course, both these coaches are going to be able to draw from that experience, kind of have that matchup to go off from head-to-head and kind of know the energy that the other team brought as well and can build off from that. Of course, the fan bases that have supported their teams throughout the years is going to be able to go back to that one too and know how much the energy and the anticipation was building through 4 overtimes in that one, and get to see a rematch of that here in the same situation.
Let's take a look back to Monday night now and a couple of highlights from that. We start with Hudsonville's win over Rockford, thanks to Hudsonville team videographer Jack Fuchs and his Twitter account for this highlight package that he had from the game. And it was Hudsonville attacking in a multitude of ways, but mostly a guy whose name we're going to say a lot, Braden Shamray, Chandler, attacking inside like this, attacking outside like this. Shamray is the guy that will have to have a huge game tonight if Hudsonville is going to have a chance to pull the upset.
He's been an all-around scorer for this Eagles team for multiple years now, and they're going to need another all-time performance from him. He has a little bit of everything offensively. He can drive into the lane, he can drive to the basket, he can kick it out, he can make that mid-range shot, and he's also shown the ability to hit the deep ball effectively as well. Had multiple threes on Monday night, so can score pretty much any way you want him to.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see the other guy that really stood out was Braylon McFall attacking on the pull-up. I feel like his athleticism at the wing is going to be highly, highly important. Hudsonville's defensive ability to kind of stop no middle worked very well against Rockford, but against a Muskegon team that's willing to shoot the ball, it's going to create some interesting ideas, and we'll talk a lot about what can Coach Elliott do to slow this game down outside of holding the ball 3 minutes at a time, which I'm not saying Hudsonville shouldn't do tonight, being completely honest, to take Muskegon out of the rhythm. But defensively as well, you saw some highlights. They took out the middle so well. I really felt it was one of Hudsonville's best performances in total on the year to get over the hump against Rockford and move on to the regional championship.
Against a team that you've already played a couple times. I mean, both these teams very familiar with each other and what they do, and the way that they were still able to kind of take Rockford out of what they do and play in a physical style of defense, one that they've grown very accustomed and one that they're familiar playing in, and being able to take Rockford out of their element a little bit and finally get that win after 2 losses.
All right, then Muskegon beat East Kentwood by, we'll say, 20 in the end, and I say it that way because we had 34 free throws shot in the fourth quarter. We'll talk about that in a minute, but it was an unbelievable start to this game in particular. You see here in the first quarter, it was 27-5 at what point in time. The way Muskegon jumped on the throttle from the very beginning was unbelievable against East Kentwood.
brought the energy really from the start and kind of sucked the life out of that East Kentwood team. It felt like in the first half, it felt like at halftime that game was over. Of course, East Kentwood made a push in the third to make things a little bit interesting, but the way that right from the jump, Muskegon was able to make a statement and set the tone early on was impressive.
Yeah, Jim already starting to fill up here tonight. You can see the intensity that was in there, and you can see the intensity of this Muskegon defense at all moments of the basketball game. But down the stretch, it was the free throw shooting that really carried them. It was almost a game in a couple parts. The first half was so dominant for Muskegon. They led by 19 at the break. East Kentwood brought the game on 2 different occasions down to 5 points. And then, like I said, in the fourth quarter, with a ton of fouls, a ton of late moments with, Coach Thomas, I think, for East Kentwood, trying to make a point of some nature as well down the stretch. 26 of 34, the free throw total down the stretch for Muskegon. So we can break down all the things that we did just break down from this game, Chandler. And a big 3 here from Sidnor that I think really was kind of the real true X factor in the game. We can break down all of those different things that we look to break down from that game. But at the end of the day, it was Muskegon able to do their game that they wanted in the first quarter, mentally stay with it, survive that third quarter push, and then execute down the stretch. And their free throw shooting showed you aren't going to be able to make up gaps late by just pressuring them and doing those sort of things and putting them at the line.
Yeah, you see the styles that they can play at when I think at their core they want to be a team that plays up speed. They've shown that all season long. They've got guys that can really run the floor, handle the basketball, multiple guards that are very dominant playing at the next level. And so you saw in the first half them able to get out and run a little bit, get some turnovers on defense, turn that into fast break, and really jump on it from the start, build out that big lead. And then, of course, late in the game when East Kentwood, due to that large deficit, had to start the foul game pretty early on and was playing aggressively on the defensive end with some pressures as well. Got into the free throw game. There's no better players to have on the floor at that time than experienced guards, and that's what Muskegon has a lot of, and they knock down a lot of free throws.
All right, this is kind of the main discussion for the Bates Agency pregame show today, Chandler. Let's have the pace discussion. Hudsonville, this is the most athletic team that Coach Elliott has had, I believe, in the last few years, even compared to some teams that were deep run playoff teams in the last couple of seasons. And, look at the COVID-shortened year, a team that was really had a chance to go to the Breslin Center. A little bit bigger, a little bit slower. A lot of athleticism with Joldersma and DeGraff and so forth still, even with the big guys. With all of that said, they cannot run with Muskegon. East Kentwood couldn't run with Muskegon. So you have to do something to slow down the game in a massive way to get Muskegon off their game. What are some ways to do that? Matchup zones in the half court. They'll do it. Probably throwing either a 2-2-1 or a 1-2-2 trap to not necessarily trap to steal, but to trap to slow down the offense, make them make a couple passes. Because if Muskegon has it their way, they will run man-to-man, beat you to your spots in the half court, and have open shots and easy open looks all day. The other thing about this Muskegon team, for as fast as they are and for as, aggressive as they are, they always make the extra pass. So you cannot be out of position at any point in time against them.
That's what makes it difficult is they really still do play a selfless basketball when they get those opportunities, even when they've got numbers going the other way. They are a smart team when it comes to that sense. But I think, there's a couple different things in terms of that full court pressure. It's more of just a soft look, a soft pressure where you're not necessarily looking to turn over the basketball. Of course, you'll take it if you get it, but it's more just to keep a body and not let Muskegon get a running start up the floor.
Yeah, Muskegon finding their way back out on the floor right now. We continue through this Bates Agency pregame show. We're actually going to take one final break here on the Bates Agency pregame show. When we come back, let's take a look at some of the names and matchups that we're going to be watching in this one, and then get to those X factors and keys to the game in the regional championship. Muskegon and Hudsonville just about 6.5 minutes away from the anthem and getting this thing underway.
Jerry opened the letter. An eviction notice? He and his family couldn't bear to move again. It was warm and they had plenty of space for their acorns. Anxiety took a hold of him. Then suddenly,
you've got squirrels in your engine and they chew through the wiring.
And it was covered, thanks to a farmer's agent. Engine Bay Squatters, May 23rd, 2015. Talk to farmers. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Contact the Scott Bates Agency today at 616-531-3441. Your local farmer's agent who helps you plan for the unexpected.
I'm Randy Hansen, president of Centennial Securities. I've heard it said that professional coaches measure success in rings, college coaches measure success in championships, and high school coaches measure it in titles. But youth coaches measure success in smiles. At Centennial Securities, we're like the youth coach. Our success is measured by the smiles on the faces of our satisfied clients. If you're a Centennial Securities customer, you know what I mean. If you're not, isn't it about time?
Member SIPC and FINRA.
It's a 3-week journey, unmatched in almost all sports. It takes 8 games of perfection, from Monday night at your home gym in districts to the grand stage of Michigan's largest college basketball arena. Neighborhood district foes for a week, then the best of the region, the best of your quarter of the state, and eventually, all eyes on the best of the best from each side of the state, with it all on the line in late March. Every game is a winner-takes-all and a pure display on the hardwood, with styles of play as varied as the corners of the state the teams travel from. To win, you'll need to conjure up some of your own March magic. No one makes it through this run unscathed. There's stories of perfection, stories of redemption, and stories of some of the great names and teams to lace them up in the mitten. We've seen them all here. The greatest teams and players on the West Side conquering all. Title-winning moments only March supplies. And the end of dynasties and miracle runs that counter the unmatched elation with an equal emotional crushing. In the MHSAA basketball tournament, moments make the journey. Don't blink, because you might miss one. It's an arduous 3-week battle, but it goes by pretty quick. This is March on MGN.
All right, welcome back, everyone, to the Scott Bates Farmers Insurance Agency pregame show. Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timmer. This is game night on Michigan Sports Radio from West Iowa. It is the Division I Region 3 championship here tonight between Hudsonville and Muskegon, a rematch of their 2015 4-overtime game that we showed highlights of from Fox 17 a little bit earlier on in the broadcast. All right, CT, let's get into the matchups. Let's start in the backcourt. We know this Muskegon backcourt, I'm going to call it the best in the state of Michigan. You know, I know there are some private schools on the other side of the state that have players that are eligible and then ineligible every other day. You probably know what team I'm talking about. They're still playing that would probably claim what I'm about to say, but I believe this is the best backcourt in the state of Michigan. You've got 3 senior guards that are Division II players. You have a junior guard that's the nephew of the coach, that's the quarterback on the football team, and more terrific ability on the bench as well from guard play. But this is a team, there's no team that has 3 or 4 guards at a time that I think are what Muskegon has. On the other side for Hudsonville, Braden Shamright, unbelievable third-year guard. Jovan Daniels, the terrific freshman, terrific defender. Gibson Heath-Ice, and a lot more play in terms of wings that you'll see. Griffin Baker coming off the bench. But this is the first place where Hudsonville is going to have to find a way to slow things down and to kind of neutralize the matchup, because for as good as Shamright is, for as good as Daniels is, for as good as Heath-Ice is, this is the best backcourt, I believe, in the state of Michigan.
Definitely. I think got multiple guys playing at the next level and guys that are really complement each other well. Have a lot of the same skill set, but they play so well together. When you've got guys like that, you've got a guy off the bench that'd be starting on most teams. You've got guys that can shoot the basketball, can drive, can do just a little bit about everything, and doesn't put too much pressure on one single guy when you've got multiple players, as we saw on Monday night, that can kind of take over the game at different parts and kind of rotate through. And so unfair to expect Shamray to match that production 4 versus 1, but that's kind of what it's going to be in terms of scoring. It's going to take a big day from Shamray to match that.
Now, the forwards are where things kind of flip, I think, when we're somewhat looking at that matchup, because this is where you have a lot of experience, 2 terrific multi-year players in Vanderveen and Dykstra up front, and then guys like Dennis or McFall on the wing or at the power forward spot, and then Davis, a young junior, some very young freshmen and sophomore wings and forwards for Muskegon. So it's almost like an opposite flip. And if you're talking about Hudsonville wanting to be the team to slow this game down so much, they can do it perfectly through these kind of two-way inside-out bigs that they have with a lot of experience.
Yeah, if you're looking for the potential advantage that the Eagles have, I think that's it right there. I mean, all season long, it's a Hudsonville team that prides themselves on physicality and on guys like that and utilizing their skill set. And I think that's something Muskegon has some players that can do that. Davis guy that can be that, but just a team that doesn't rely on that as much. So I think those are the type of players that you look at on the Eagles team that if they can have a big day, they can play their style of basketball. That's where Hudsonville is going to have the advantage.
All right, quickly, X factors. Look out for Jovan Daniels, the freshman for Hudsonville. What can he do on the offensive end of the floor creating? Can the 5'6" guard do enough defensively as well on these terrific, quick, and good size as well, some of these Muskegon guards on their side? It is that youth. When you look at the wings, you look at the forwards, sophomores like Langston, juniors like Watson, the freshmen even, when you look at James Martin, what can they do off the bench, playing both ways, neutralizing some of Hudsonville's size for Muskegon? At the end of the day, the key to the game is the pace. If the game is fast, Muskegon has it won. If the game is slow, Hudsonville has a chance. That'll do it for the Scott Bates Farmers Insurance Agents pregame show. We're going to step aside for the anthem and be right back for some basketball. Let's get this regional championship underway.
Somebody once said life moves pretty fast, and that's exactly how we like it. Want to build something? Great. Start businesses, build bridges, raise a whole city. Future in fighting crime? Want to save lives? Do it all here. But you've got to go forward fast. Because today is now, and tomorrow is soon. And to get ahead of the game, you got to get ahead of your time. This is your future, so take it and move all of us forward.
To everyone who loves great food, let us make you a meal the Wisconsin way.
We cook each Butterburger to order for you and the people you love, so it's the best part of your day.
The best.
The best.
And every creamy scoop of fresh frozen custard, pure happiness.
Pure happiness.
Pure happiness. Because where Culver's comes from.
And the heart of America's Dairyland.
Our love.
Our love for fresh food is as strong as our love for all of you.
From Wisconsin with love.
Welcome to Delicious.
Here we go. Welcome back to West Ottawa and the regional championship game. Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timmer with you here in Division 1 this evening. Hudsonville will be the home team on scoreboard and in uniform, by the way. And for the Eagles, it is the same officiating crew that they had in their win against Zeeland West on Friday. Pretty physical game there. Make sure you keep an eye on that. Muskegon, the 23-2 Big Reds, coming off a 20-point win over East Kentwood. They are coached by Keith Guy in their traveling black uniforms. Red numbers and lettering trimmed in white. They will start the 5'10" senior guard, David Day, in the backcourt alongside the 6' senior guard, Jordan Briggs, and the 6' senior guard, Anthony Sidnor III. On the wing, they'll have the junior, Stanley Cunningham, and up front is the 6'6" junior, Terrence Davis. Home white jerseys for Hudsonville. The Eagles 18-7 on the year, and they come off a 5-point 55-50 win over Rockford last time out for head coach Eric Elliott in his 13th season at the helm of the Eagles. Hudsonville will start the 6-foot junior guard Braden Shamray in the backcourt alongside the 5'10" senior guard Gibson Heathice. On the wing is the 6'2" junior Jonah Dennis. And up front for the Eagles, the 6'3" senior forward Mason Dykstra and the 6'4" senior center Eli Vanderveen. Hudsonville will move left to right across the radio dial. It is yet another absolutely packed house. The crowd was a little bit, not necessarily late arriving because the game hasn't started yet, but during the course of our pregame show, CT, it filled in. In the lower bowl, there is not one seat to be found. The upper bowl filling as well. There's about an hour-long line at the concession stand that'll fill things in more and a little bit later on as well. It is going to be a ton of fun. Again, Hudsonville left to right across the radio dial. Muskegon will move right to left. Traveling black uniforms for Muskegon, home white jerseys for the Eagles. One final word for each of these staffs with their coaches. They'll break, and we are ready to rock and roll as Coach Elliott and Coach Guy look on. The big Whoa logo at center floor where Vanderveen will stride in against Davis for the draw. Give about 2 inches to the junior Terrence Davis for Muskegon. The first minutes will be so critical. The ball is up and away we go. It's tipped back to Heathice and the Eagles, and Hudsonville will control. Muskegon opens man-to-man defensively. Heathice crosses across the floor to the top of the key. Down the right side of the lane, handoff Dennis, backing free throw line. Feeds back left corner, catch and shoot three. Heathice missed it all short. Rebound ripped away by Terrence Davis. Onto the near side run from Jordan Briggs. Briggs to the top of the key around a screen. Run into by Dykstra. He'll back it out in front of the timeline. And Muskegon forced to slow it down here in the half court to start. 30 seconds gone, no score. Regional championship game. Briggs right wing, defended by Dennis. Feeds left elbow to Day. Day. Right hand dribble to the top of the key. Hands off just to his right side to Davis. Working the pivot foot. Free throw line, Sidnor. Sidnor on the pivot, left elbow. Step back move, right wing Cunningham. Lobs for Davis, clutches, and Davis elevates and scores off the window. So it's Muskegon taking their time on the first possession, and now they'll bring a little bit of token full court pressure. 2-0 with a minute gone. Shamray up top, Dykstra. Dykstra will hold, and Hudsonville will certainly take their time to set things up right here. Ball against his chest. Dykstra just hanging on to it, directing traffic. Now feeds left wing to Shamray. Up top for Dykstra. Right wing Heathice. Heathice in the corner, up top for Dennis. Left wing Dykstra. Defended loosely by Davis. Up top for Heathice. 90 seconds gone. Feed left side. Sidnor pokes and fouls that one away from Shamray.
Definitely early on, the Eagles doing everything they can to keep this a half-court game. On defense, held strong for about 30 seconds. Big Reds eventually able to work it down low to Davis and get the bucket, but so far the style of game, the Eagles have been able to keep it slow. This is still Eagles' second possession, a minute and a half in.
2-0 early. This game has gone exactly to plan right now for Hudsonville, minus the scoreboard. Vanderveen throws left corner to Heathice, who missed the triple to open the game. Right wing for Dennis. Stutters, backs in the lane. Left corner Heathice. Catch and shoot three. Front rim, no. Rebound secured by Briggs. He's fouled on the fight for the rebound by Dennis. And Muskegon will take the ball. One foul on either team. 6:12 to go in the first. 2-0 Muskegon, but again, the pace has been where they want. Hudsonville is going to bring some full court pressure right here. Briggs with a couple of guys on him. Signals for Sidnor to help join him in the backcourt. Inbounded here to Briggs. Token pressure will pull off as he'll take it up. 2-0 Muskegon, right to left. Slowly over the timeline is Briggs. Right now Muskegon is fully willing to settle into the half-court game that the Eagles want to play. Briggs to the left side, defended by Dennis. Skip pass left corner to Day the third. Free throw line to Sidnor the third. Dump pass down low. Davis turns the back. Right hand shot rejected by Vanderveen. Rebound to Dykstra. Shamray to take it left side. 5:45 in the first. 2-0 Muskegon. Feed down low. Dykstra turns. Two-hand shot. Poked away. Stolen by Briggs. He's off and running. Right wing to Sidnor. Catch and shoot three. Front rim no. High leaping rebound is snagged by Davis. But a held ball is called as Dykstra is able to stay with him. It will stay Muskegon basketball. Hudsonville faithful wanting over the back call, but it will stay with Muskegon. 5.5 in the first, 2-0 Big Reds.
Yeah, both teams trying to work it down into the post, and so far the interior defense holding strong for both teams back-to-back possessions. Vanderveen able to stop Davis, and Big Red's getting a stop on the other end as well.
Briggs curling right corner three. Off the connector, no good. Rebound to Hudsonville. Shamray to slow it down. Swung left wing to Dennis. Up top for Shamray. Penetrating inside. Now Cake takes it out behind the arc. Pass to the top of the key. Poked into the Muskegon bench by Sidnor. It'll stay right side of the Eagles. 5-17 in the first, 2-0. There's a lot of things I expected in this game. I'm not sure this is what I expected in this game. Seeing Muskegon really just follow into the half-court man-to-man game on both ends of the floor. Offensive foul is called on Hudsonville. They get Dykstra on a moving screen as Shamray went around him. That'll be the second team foul on Hudsonville, the first on Dykstra. 5-11 in the first, 2-0 Muskegon.
Dykstra leaning into that screen just enough. David Day trying to go over top of it and stay right with Shamray, but Dykstra leaning into it just enough and picking up the offensive foul there, setting screen.
Briggs drives, pull-up shot from 10 feet, off the connector, bounces 3 times. Second chance rebound, ripped down by Vanderveen, takes it away. There's a lot of contact being allowed right now on either side in this one early on. 4:51 in the first, 2-0 Muskegon. Shamray the ball left wing. Fakes left, drives inside, feeds to Vanderveen, cuts to the basket. Left-hand shot, good, and a whistle will send Vanderveen to the line for one more.
Yeah, nice cut to the basket from Vanderveen on the weak side, but again, that opportunity created by Shamray's ability to get into the lane. Using the dribble, looked like he was going to dish it off to the corner, holding on to it there, waiting for the cut from Vanderveen and finding him underneath.
Terrific find. Good job by Vanderveen through the contact from Sidnor. Got a piece of his head there on the swat attempt. Vanderveen to the line to take the lead. Free throw off the connector, no. We are tied at 3. Cunningham the board. David Day to run the offense. Day, an Aquinas commit in the left wing. Feeds right side to Sidnor. Off the bounce. Stopped into a double team right block. Skip pass right wing to Davis. Davis back to Sidnor right corner. He'll curl right wing with it. Now back it out. Anthony Sidnor III, a Ferris State commit, led the team in scoring with 18 on Monday night against East Kentwood. Sidnor, fake handoff, now throws left corner for Day, curls to the free throw line, step back move, up top for Briggs. Briggs cut off right wing by Shamray, handoff Cunningham, up top Day. Hudsonville faithful love the defense. Day drives, flinging shot short, but a foul as he was doing all he could to draw the contact on the falling shot. So David Day III will go to the line for Coach Guy in Muskegon. Nearly to the halfway point of the first quarter. It is 2-2. If you're a Hudsonville fan, you could have not asked for anything different than what's happening right here.
Another long Muskegon offensive possession there. Moving the basketball around, finally get a chance for Day to make something happen, driving to the basket. Gets the defensive foul called against him, but another long possession where the Eagles are locking down, and even though it ends in result at the free throw line, the Eagles probably going to settle for that.
Day will hit the first free throw, and he will put Muskegon back on top 3-2. Day wears number 0 in the traveling black uniform, Muskegon logo on either short leg for the Big Reds. Day spins the ball, right hand free throw in front of the face motion, high off the connector, no good. Rebound down to Gibson Heath-Heiss. Remains a 1-point lead for Muskegon, who will match up man-to-man defensively right here in the half court. Dykstra to run the offense up top, directing traffic. The senior flings left wing for Shamray. Up top to Jonah Dennis. Dennis down the right side of the lane, handoff right wing Heath-Heiss. Defended by Briggs. He'll back it out to the volleyball line. Stutter step. Thrown left wing with 2 hands to Shamray. Shamray. Jab, step back 3, Shamray, off the connector, no, rebound down to Cunningham, 3.5 in the first, 3-2 Muskegon, Briggs to run, left corner to Sidnor. Sidnor curls to the top of the key, he'll now back it out, look back to Coach Guy and reset the offense. Left wing for Briggs, 3:25 in the first, 3-2 Muskegon, regional championship at West Ottawa. Briggs around to Davis screen, down the right side of the lane, 2-hand pass Cunningham, up top Day, thought about a deep 3, drives to the free throw line, handoff curling Cunningham, runner off the side of the backboard, rebound straight down to Davis, leaner with a right, strong, but an offensive foul, a push off from Davis will send the ball back Hudsonville's way, 3:08 in the first, 3-2 Muskegon.
Eagles defense continues to hold strong on the inside, not allowing any penetration, that no middle, cutting everything off. Doing a fantastic job. Davis finally gets the basketball down low, but the big man down low, standing his ground, understanding the contact going to come. Really wasn't a ton there, but he was set and anticipating it.
Shamray to the left elbow will back it out behind the arc. Feeds up top for Dykstra. Dykstra back to Shamray, left wing. He'll back it, curling elbow. Jump pass for Dykstra into the lane. Left-hand flip shot short. Grabs his own rebound. Left wing, Heathheist. Right wing, Vanderveen. Stares at the basket, feeds up top for Shamray. Shamray double teamed. Left wing to Dykstra with some space. Launches a 22-foot three. That one is strong. The rebound down to Cunningham. Dater on the offense. 2.5 in the first. 3-2 Muskegon. Briggs right wing resetting things back up top for David Day III. Day with a left-hand dribble, back it out. Dennis watching him. Up top, Sidnor. Sidnor driving on Shamray, cut off, feeds right corner for Briggs. Curls into the lane, skip pass, left block, Cunningham. Extra feed, Davis went for a jam attempt, blocked by Shamray. Shamray off and running, stops right block, feeds to Heathheist, swung up top to Vanderveen. Inside 2 minutes in the first, 3-2 Muskegon. Dykstra spins left block, handoff, Dennis, floater, rattles home. Hudsonville back on top, 4-3.
Big block underneath the basket from Shamray, stops an easy two for Davis, and then capitalizing on the other end.
Briggs with some pace, pull-up jumper, blocked by Dennis. Rebound, batted around, taken by Hudsonville. Dykstra running, spin move, floater, off the window and good.
The Eagles getting a chance to get out and run a little bit there. Haven't had that yet this game, but Dykstra making it count. 1-on-2, did not have numbers 2 defenders back, but still able to make that spin in the lane.
6-3 Hudsonville with 1:20 and less in the first. Sidnor left wing, drives on Shamray, pull-up jumper, off the back rim, no. Rebound to Heathheist. What a start for the Eagles on both ends of the floor right now. Gibson, Heathheist will slow it way down over the timeline. Maybe Coach Elliott asking for a final shot right here. Hand off right wing for Shamray, up top with 56 seconds. Dykstra gonna hold it right here. Hand off for Heathheist. Inside 50 seconds in the first. Left wing to Shamray. Shamray split a pair of defenders but lost the dribble. Briggs takes it, throws it behind the defense to Day, elevates at the basket, and David Day scores off the window to bring Muskegon back within one. A mistake in easy points, that's what Muskegon does.
Yeah, I think the Eagles definitely were just going to move the ball around a little bit, try to get a last shot, but Big Reds being proactive there, poking the basketball free, getting themselves a fast break chance right before the end of the first quarter.
1 point, 6-5 lead for Hudsonville. Neither team has made a substitution yet. As we go inside the final 15 seconds, Dykstra now defended by Davis, who will pull in on him. Dykstra, left wing. Hand off for Shamray on a curl with 8. Shamray around a screen, top of the key, bounding into the lane. Legs get tied up on the floor. Cunningham with it. Now it's on to Sidnor, thrown over the timeline to Briggs. Briggs launches a 30-footer at the buzzer. Missed it wide to the left. That'll do it for the first quarter. 6-5, Hudsonville over Muskegon after one. Do not go anywhere.
Cornerstone University.
The professors are very open to helping whenever they can.
Academic excellence, character-driven athletics, Christ-centered community involvement.
Cornerstone has been a great opportunity for me to grow as a leader, just being able to approach people and be warm and welcoming and hospitable.
Experience it for yourself. Attend a Golden Eagle Day at Cornerstone for a taste of campus life and the chance to meet faculty and staff. To arrange a visit for your high school junior or senior, go to cornerstone.edu. Cornerstone University. Build a life that matters.
A sense of purpose, a higher calling. At Dean Transportation, we call it our passion. It's simply who we are. 60 years of pioneering the best health and safety standards because safe student transportation is essential. We are hard-working folks, connecting children to learning, schools to our communities, and you to a better career. Want to make your community a better place? We'll put you in the driver's seat. Join the Dean family today and help to connect our kids to brighter futures.
All right, welcome back, everyone, to a raucous West Ottawa. Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timmer with you. 6-5 after one. Really going exactly how Hudsonville wanted to give themselves a chance in this one against the 23-2 Big Reds. Couple substitutions. Baker and Daniels out there on the floor for Hudsonville. We will see Elijah Langston on the floor for the first time for the Big Reds. Also, Makai Guy will come on for the first time in this game. Hudsonville will inbound left to right across your radio dial. Shamray pressured in the backcourt here by Guy. He'll take it slowly over the timeline. Feed top of the key to Dykstra. Defended by Langston. Right wing, Vanderveen. Offensive foul called. It's going back the other way. Off the ball, the whistle. They'll get Shamray. 7:47 in the second, 6-5 Hudsonville. That's the fourth foul on the Eagles and the first on Braden Shamray.
Shamray off the ball. Looked like they were setting the screen, trying to create an opening there, swing the basketball around as Vanderveen had the basketball in his hands, but another illegal screen called against the Eagles.
Day up top for Guy. Swung right corner Briggs. Catch and shoot three. Good. Briggs a tough one on the move. He was trying to draw some contact for the 4-point play as well, but Muskegon goes on top 8-6. Daniels right wing for Baker. The sophomore to the top of the key to Shamray. Shamray crosses, drives in the lane, offensive foul, bounding into the lane. David Day, who I think drew 4 of those on Monday night, draws another one right there. Back-to-back offensive fouls on Shamray. He will have to take a seat as Heathlice, the senior, has a quick word with the junior coming into the game, and Muskegon takes over 8-6 with 7:18 in the second, and feels like kind of a critical moment right here for Hudsonville to settle things back down.
The Big Reds have started to respond on the defensive end, getting locked in a grinded out, slow half-court style game on the defensive end, making some plays, forcing some turnovers and some fouls.
Mackay Guy dribbles into the top of the key three, missed it high off the connector, rebound down to Vanderveen, and Jovan Daniels, the freshman, are on the offense, up top for Dykstra. Left wing Heathlice fakes a pass, now throws up top for Daniels. The freshman stutters left side of the lane, underhand feed left wing Baker. Baker into the lane, stops right block, fadeaway shot, missed it all, rebound breaks. Jordan Briggs right to left to run over the timeline to Mackay Guy. Back to Briggs, up top with space, launches a three, off the connector. It sits on the connector and falls. 11-6 Muskegon.
Miscommunication defensively, not picking up the basketball, trailing on that run up the floor. 2 Eagles there, neither one takes the basketball as it swings around the arc and an open three.
Daniels, difficult reverse fleeing layup off the connector, no good. Rebound down to Briggs, Muskegon running left corner to Guy. Left wing to Briggs, 11-6 now the Muskegon lead. Was 6-12 in the second. A little bit of a matchup 2-3 zone being set up right here by Muskegon. Morphs in almost a 1-3-1 look. Top of the key, Briggs. To the right elbow, will back it out. Baker stays with him, left wing to Guy. So the first time they're looking at this matchup zone. Right corner to Day, jabbing on the pivot foot. Spins right block. Day will back it out behind the arc and throw up top for Briggs. 5:48 in the second. Left wing to Mackay Guy. Guy across the floor, Briggs. Fakes a pass right. Now he'll start dribbling right and drop it right corner for Day. Curls top of the key. Feeds for the cutting lengths, or for the cutting Cunningham. Left hand finger roll, good, but an offensive foul. A lot of offensive whistles early in this game. 4th foul on Muskegon, the second on Cunningham. He'll check out. Watson and Sidnor come back into the game. Langston also takes a seat. Braylon McFall comes in for the first time for the Eagles as Vanderveen goes back to the bench.
Both teams playing really good defense there. Vanderveen again sees out of that zone where the Big Reds are going to be moving the basketball, anticipates it once again, and able to set his ground. Easy offensive charge call again.
Muskegon starting to up their man-to-man pressure right here in the half court. Dykstra holds top of the key, trailing 11-6. Handoff McFall, left wing with space, three, good. Braylon McFall, the junior, putting Hudsonville back on the board. They're back within a score, 11-9. Working quickly, right wing, Watson three, splashes that one down. A quick answer from Justin Watson, and Muskegon makes it 14-9 with 5 minutes in the third. Daniels being harassed up top for McFall. Defended by Watson, right wing for Daniels. Stutter step, left wing Heathlice. To Daniels, right wing. No Shamray on the floor with his 2 fouls right now for Hudsonville. Griffin Baker, top of the key. Right wing for Daniels, up top for McFall. Heavy pressure right now defensively from Muskegon. They'll get it out to Daniels. He'll swing it left side with Heathlice, and the senior will reset the offense. 4.5 in the second. 5-point lead for the Big Reds. Right wing for Daniels. Defended by Day. Behind the back dribble. Handoff McFall. Peers at the basket. Has Day rotated onto him defensively. McFall spins into the lane. Jump stop. Right corner with space. Triple try. Good. Jovan Daniels. The freshman knocks it down. And Hudsonville back within 2. Driving Briggs fouled on the floor. We'll settle this game down a little bit. That is the 6th foul of the half on Hudsonville. That's the first. Sorry, that's the second it will be on Heathlice. Vanderveen will check in here for Dykstra. 4:13 in the second. The Eagles making some threes to stay in it right now, CT.
Yeah, without Shamray on the floor, they needed someone else to come in and create, and it's McFall off the bench once again, hitting a three, then able to drive and kick it back out for the Daniels three as well.
Issues on the inbound, gotten in from Sidnor to Day, right corner. Sidnor in front of the timeline on to Jordan Briggs. Defended by Baker. Working a left-hand dribble. He'll back it out one more time. Briggs wears a white shooting sleeve down the left arm. Crossover between the legs. Steps into a long three. Over top of Baker, no. Long rebound, top of the key. Settled down by Baker. And Jovan Daniels, left to right, will run the offense for the Eagles, who can tie or take the lead back right here. 3:47 in the second, 14-12 game. Up top, Heathice. Right corner on to Daniels. Daniels penetrating, defended by Briggs. Underhand flip feed, left wing for Baker. Right wing to Heathice. Faking passes now, throws down right block to Vanderveen. Turns the back on Watson. Hook shot, rolls home. We're tied at 14.
Difficult shot in the paint from Vanderveen. Spinning, kind of an awkward one-handed, have to put it up, but able to get the friendly bounce.
Mackay Guy attacks the basket, flip shot short, but a foul called on Griffin Baker. That is the team's 7th, so Muskegon into the bonus. They will have 2 at the line here with Mackay Guy regardless. That's the first foul on Baker. And it is the nephew of head coach Keith Guy, the 5'9" junior, played quarterback for this team in the fall. We saw him when they played Muskegon Mona Shores. A really, really impressive game he put on there, and obviously a very impressive young athlete. Offsets the right foot in front of the left, looking to give Muskegon the lead back, shooting into the face of the Hudsonville student section. Shot is good. Guy on the board, and Muskegon back on top. Their freshman, Muskegon's freshman, James Martin, the 6'3" wing, will check in here for David Day. A little bit more size out there right now for Muskegon with both Watson and Martin. Coach Elliott calls an official over for a quick word here. Not 100% sure what his questioning was right here, but he had a couple different officials come over and talk to him, and now it'll send Guy back to the line. Mackay Guy at the strike. Dribbles once, right-hand free throw, good. Guy hits them both, puts Muskegon back up 2. 3:20 to go in the second, 16-14 Muskegon. Little half-court 1-2-2 zone trap right here being shown by the Eagles, left, or by the Big Reds. Left wing 3, Heathice rattles out, fight for the rebound, foul on a pushing Baker. Will go back Muskegon's way. 3:10 in the second, 16-14. That is the second foul on Baker, 8th on the team. It will send Muskegon in line for a 1-and-1. Foul is now 8-4 in this first half of play.
Having some difficulties trying to figure out who's shooting these free throws here. It looked like one official had Briggs shooting it. The other one thought it was going to be Watson. It is going to end up being Briggs. It looks like that was the correct call.
It's going to be Briggs here at the line. Right foot in front of the left. Free throw falls short. He jumps to his own rebound. Put back, knocked out of bounds, but a foul on that forced shot will send Briggs right back to the line. 3:08 in the second, 16-14. Mistake right there from the Eagles. They have to secure those sort of rebounds and limit possessions for Briggs, especially him bounding in the lane. That's the first foul on McFall, by the way, 9th on the team. First free throw, Briggs, good. He's not going to miss the front end twice in a row. He now has 7 in this game, the Wayne State commit.
And Eagles just failing to anyone box out the shooter there. Wide open lane for him to get his own rebound and cash in on 2 more chances.
Briggs hits the second as well. He has 8, leads all scorers right now. It's an 18-14 game, 3 minutes to go. Again, the half-court trap coming out for Muskegon, trying to speed up the Eagles. Thrown all the way down low to Vanderveen. Up fake, let 2 defenders go by, and Vanderveen scores. He has 6, 18-15. Expert breaking of the trap right there.
A fantastic find from Heathice, well away from the basket, seeing Vanderveen as the double team came.
Briggs, right wing 3, steps into some space and knocks down a triple. 11 points for Jordan Briggs, 21-16. Again, the half-court trap is on. Lobbing McFall, right corner. Baker nearly stolen away by a reaching Martin, but it rolls off his fingertips into the Muskegon bench. Will stay with Hudsonville. 2.5 in the second, 21-16 Big Reds. This half-court trap, zone trap, kind of changing the complexion of what offense looks like right now for Hudsonville, forced to speed up their attack right now. Here comes Montrell Oliver, the junior, who did not play at all on Monday night. He's back in. He'll help operate in this trap. Right corner for Baker. Baker jump pass up top for Vanderveen. Left wing to Heathice. Throwing across for a leaping Daniels. Quick jump pass right corner to Baker. Catch and shoot three. Falls short off the front rim. Rebound to Jordan Briggs. He's off and running. Briggs, starter step, top of the key. Down the right side of the lane. Jump pass, right wing. Deep catch and shoot three. Sidnor rattles out. Rebound. Settled down by Oliver on the floor. Trapped and held onto her, tied up by Heathice. Held ball is called alternating possession. Will stay. Actually, we may have a timeout called before the held ball was called from the Muskegon bench. 2:04 in the second, 21-16. Muskegon. We'll be right back.
Bowling is a great time that combines great friends, football, and bowling. Compete against your friends or family, throwing a football at 10 real bowling pins. You can bring in your own food, or they have a pair of 45-foot bars featuring soft drinks and adult beverages. Visit bowlingwarehouse.com, Grand Rapids, to reserve your lanes.
Founded in 1969, J&H Family Stores has grown from a single tank truck to over 50 convenience store locations in West Michigan. Our locations offer a variety of fuel options ranging from Exxon, Mobil, Marathon, and Citgo. At many of our stores, you'll also be pleased to find a Tim Hortons or Subway. Find the location near you by visiting myjhfamilystores.com. There's one in your neighborhood.
All right, welcome back to West Ottawa. Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timmer with you here on Game Night on Michigan Sports Radio. Region 3 championship in Division 1. Muskegon leading West Ottawa by 5, 21-16 with 2 minutes to go in the third. Baseline right inbound. Muskegon throws in with Sidnor, lobbing for Oliver. Poked out of there by Vanderveen. Settled back down by Oliver. Oliver throws one right side looking for Briggs. Escapes him out of bounds, and it'll go back Hudsonville's way. 2 minutes exactly to go in the second, 21-16.
And going back to that last timeout, it did look like a jump ball was called before the timeout. Possession arrow switching Hudsonville, now getting the basketball in another tie-up situation. Muskegon still awarded that timeout, though, afterwards.
Thank you for clarifying that for me. It was a little bit kind of confusing, a couple quick whistles. Back to the 1-2-2 half-court trap here for Muskegon. Very difficult to beat. Skip past Heathice, rolls up top for Daniels, defended by Oliver. Left side for Heathice. Heathice against the trap, will back it out, throw right side for Dennis. Dennis right wing to Daniels. Daniels up top for a leaping Dennis. Left wing for Heathice. Up fake, drives across the floor, right wing for Daniels. Catch and shoot three. Rattles out. Rebound is down to James Martin. Good look for the freshman, but he can't knock that one down. Again, remember, Shamroy on the bench with 2 fouls right now. If Hudsonville can somewhat survive, Shamroy having to sit almost the entire second quarter on the bench, that would be a big deal. Offensive foul is on Oliver. He got caught up on a moving screen. That is our 5th or 6th offensive foul of the basketball game. It will go Hudsonville's direction. That's the 15th foul on Muskegon. 1:13 to go in the second. 21-16. First foul on Oliver. Shamroy and Dykstra back in for Heathice and Vanderveen. And immediately, Shamroy comes out, and Muskegon looks like they're setting back up more man-to-man right here. So there is a big difference. If Shamroy stays on the floor, they can keep them out of that trap. That's exactly what they'll do right here. Dykstra up top, defended here by Oliver. Down the middle of the lane, jump stop, spins, right-hand leaner, rattles out, touch from Dennis, falls short, but he's fouled again on the floor on the fight for the rebound. 16 foul on Muskegon with the next one. Both teams will be shooting free throws. Inside the final minute of the first 59 seconds, or first half, 59 seconds to go. That's 2 fouls now on Montreal Oliver. Baseline right inbound coming up for Dennis and the Eagles. Davis will check back in here for Oliver for Coach Guy.
Patience in the lane from Dykstra, letting the defender fly by just a little bit strong on the shot underneath the basket, but Dennis there again showing some effort on the offensive glass, keeps the possession alive for the Eagles.
Shamroy top of the key, defended here by the big guy Davis. In the left wing, Shamroy, left corner for McFall, faking a pass inside, up top for Shamroy, thought about a 25-foot three, now he'll let it fly, off the front rim, no, race to the rebound, secured by Dennis in the corner, left wing for Shamroy, fakes a pass left, throws right side to Dennis, up top for Daniels to settle it down to the low dribble. Daniels around a screen, hand off Dennis. Bounding into the lane, stops free throw line, poked away, taken by Dykstra. Bodies flying everywhere, onto Dennis. Dennis flies to the basket, and a right-hand layup is good off the window.
A little bit out of control getting there. The basketball rolling through the lane a couple different times, but the Eagles not giving up. Dennis finally scooping it up and able to score after what could have been a turnover a couple different times.
21-18 with 12 seconds to go. Final possession of the first half here for the Big Reds. With a 3-point lead. Sidnor to the top of the key. Left wing for Briggs. Briggs driving, 3 over top of Shamray. Misses it all. We go to the half. 21-18. A game played exactly as the Hudsonville Eagles wanted it played, and they are in prime position to try to pull off an upset down the stretch in this one. Welcome into the Centennial Securities halftime show. Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timmer with you. What a half of basketball. Started very slow, exactly to the specifications that Coach Elliott would have drawn up in this one, but they did a good job. When Shamray was out, when the trap came on, somehow the Eagles able to withstand the storm, and they're down just 3 at the break.
Yeah, pretty impressive first half, down 3 points, but I think the Eagles going to take that in a very good spot. They're able to control that game in times and sustained when Shamray's not on the floor. I think they'll get away from some of the looks, some of those traps that Muskegon was throwing at them when Shamray's out there, and so in a pretty good spot making some shots in that first half.
What a half of play it was. 21-18. We'll be right back here on the Centennial Securities halftime show. We'll get you some scoring recap. We'll talk about what can we expect in the second half. Hudsonville hanging with Muskegon in the regional championship. It's 21-18 at the break. Do not go anywhere.
Jerry opened the letter. An eviction notice? He and his family couldn't bear to move again. It was warm and they had plenty of space for their acorns. Anxiety took a hold of him. Then suddenly,
you've got squirrels in your engine and they chew through the wiring.
And it was covered, thanks to a farmer's agent. Engine Bay Squatters, May 23rd, 2015. Talk to farmers. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Contact the Scott Bates Agency today at 616-531-3441. Your local farmer's agent who helps you plan for the unexpected.
I'm Randy Hansen, president of Centennial Securities. I've heard it said that professional coaches measure success in rings, college coaches measure success in championships, and high school coaches measure it in titles. But youth coaches measure success in smiles. At Centennial Securities, we're like the youth coach. Our success is measured by the smiles on the faces of our satisfied clients. If you're a Centennial Securities customer, you know what I mean. If you're not, isn't it about time?
Member SIPC and FINRA.
Michigan Sports Academies offers quality youth sports in Grand Rapids, Holland, and Muskegon. With a wide variety of programming, MSA has something for new athletes who are just starting out to experienced athletes looking to take their game to the next level. Year-round programming is offered in basketball, lacrosse, soccer, and volleyball. Your athlete will love the quality of instruction from experienced coaches and state-of-the-art facilities conveniently located in Grand Rapids and along the lakeshore. Check us out at MichiganSportsAcademies.com.
Don't just find yourself, make yourself. Start businesses, build bridges, save lives, raise a whole city. This is your future, so take it and move all of us forward.
All right, welcome back, everyone, to the Centennial Securities halftime show. Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timmer here at West Ottawa. 21-18 at the break. It is the Big Reds over the Eagles. CT, please get us our scoring recap, and we'll go over some notes after that.
All right, for the Hudsonville Eagles, leading scorer Vanderveen with 6 points in the first half. Dennis with 4. Daniels and McFall each with 3. Dykstra with 2 points. For the Big Reds, leading scorer for the game, Briggs with 11 points. Day and Watson each with 3. And then Davis and Guy both with 2 points.
Again, I mean, we talked about it so much. We talked it to death in the pregame show, the pace, the style of game this had to be for Hudsonville to win. It was exactly that game. But for me, the most impressive part of the game was when it wasn't their style of game. When the trap was on, when the pace of this game was up, when your best player, your leader on offense and all really elements, Braden Shamray, that kind of the whole thing a lot of times revolves around, when he was on the bench with a couple fouls, they were able to withstand it. When he came back out, they hit some big shots. They're able to stay right in it. They're down to score. That, to me, is most impressive, is when it wasn't going Hudsonville's way. When you expected the classic Muskegon run where they're all of a sudden going to go on a 10, 15-point run and put this thing away. That didn't happen, and that's why Muskegon is in danger right now of falling.
Yeah, a huge moment. I think when you look back later in the game, I think you look at those couple minutes when Shamray's off the floor. He really, the guy that you feel comfortable handling the basketball at all times, has been the guy to make things go for this team, and getting some big minutes from Daniels, Heath Heiss, McFall, all in there, hitting some shots, handling the basketball. There were some turnovers in there, but for the most part, keeping their composure, not letting Muskegon get out and run a little bit too much. They were able to up the tempo. Muskegon hitting some threes of their own, but for the most part, able to keep it close enough that could cut back into that lead when Shamray's back out on the floor and keep it close at half.
And because they were able to keep Shamray on the bench for so long, they were able to get out of half despite a lot of fouls, avoiding any big-time foul trouble, because Shamray winds up just finishing with those 2 fouls. You have to be a little bit careful here, but I think that's a big point as well. For Muskegon and for Coach Guy, the question that I think continues to linger for everyone is, when are they going to be able to start running? And yes, Hudsonville does a lot of things to kind of limit your ability to run in the way that they get back defensively, but I'm a little bit surprised that Muskegon didn't try to force the issue more than they did.
Yeah, we'll see if that's something that they're going to try to go to in the second half, but for the most part, they were pretty content to not really try to go too crazy, trying to outrun Hudsonville, staying in the half court. They had some chances underneath the basket, but that's the matchup that Hudsonville is trying to switch things to, trying to force the basketball down low. That's where they feel like they've got the advantage, and they did a couple different times. I think a couple opportunities in transition for the Big Reds where they really either get some chase down rebounds or poke the ball free and get a chance to run, but for the most part, not forcing things more than they had to.
Yes, a unbelievable second half coming up. Certainly do not go anywhere. We'll take one more break. When we come back, we'll get you through a couple more notes and keys to the second half. 21-18, Muskegon leading Hudsonville at the break. We'll be right back here from West Ottawa and the Regional Championship on Game Night on Michigan Sports Radio.
Can you name the 10 winners of the Nobel Peace Prize or the last 5 Miss Americas? The point is, the applause dies and the achievements are forgotten. But can you name 3 friends who helped you through tough times, or teachers who encouraged you in school? We remember those who make a difference in our lives. I'm Randy Hansen, president of Centennial Securities. What matters to us are the personal relationships we have with our clients, helping them build a secure financial future. As a Centennial Securities customer, you know what I mean. If you're not, isn't it about time?
Member SIPC and FINRA.
Daniel the deer danced everywhere. He pranced through fields and jigged through rivers. Then he saw it. What a stage! A place no deer had dared dance before. The hood of a brand new car.
Hey, my car!
And the car was covered, thanks to Farmers Insurance. Deer Dance Floor, December 1st, 2014. Talk to a farmer's agent. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Contact the Scott Bates Agency today, 616-531-3441. A proud supporter of MichiganGameNight.com.
Need to replace that worn-out carpet or floor? Floor Coverings International makes it easy. They bring their mobile showroom to you. Save yourself the trip and gas shopping around. See a wide selection of carpet, hardwood, laminate, and vinyl in the lighting of your own home. Go to floorcoveringsinternational.com today for your free consultation. Work with one team for a hassle-free experience from the quote to installation. And each Floor Coverings International business is independently owned and operated, so they are local business owners in our community. Floor Coverings International, the flooring store at your door.
Are you looking for a new career? Aetna Supply is hiring. Aetna Supply is Michigan's #1 plumber wholesaler, servicing local customers for over 50 years. They offer great benefits, a 401k with company match, quarterly bonuses, and no Sundays. Once again, check them out at aetnasupply.com/careers or click on their logo on the Michigan Sports Radio homepage.
All right, welcome back to West Ottawa. Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timmer, Game Night on Michigan Sports Radio, the regional championship here in Division I on March on MGN. Did I get all of the branding in there? I think it's a lot. I think I got all of it. About a minute and a half until the second half. 21-18. Chandler, let's start with Coach Elliott. What are the keys to the second half if Hudsonville is going to pull off the upset tonight?
Yeah, pretty much trying to repeat the speed that the game was played at in the first half. Keep it at that same tempo and style. I think avoid some foul trouble with Shamray. That's a big part of it. And when your ball handler's out there, that kind of eliminates some of the complications on the offensive end. You can kind of continue to force that matchup down low with your forwards. With guys like Vanderveen, Dennis, as well as Dykstra. That's where they want the basketball to continue to go.
Yeah, and for Coach Guy, Muskegon, I mean, essentially wherever you just said, flip it?
Pretty much, yeah. I think look for them to be a little bit more advantageous in trying to run a little bit. I think when they've got opportunities to push the pace. You saw them get into it at times, but for the most part, we're pretty content to ease into things. Trying to work the basketball down to Davis. That's the matchup, again, that the Eagles are trying to get. And the defense for the Eagles holding strong for the most part. I think continuing to rely on their senior guards. I mean, it's pretty obvious when you look at it a grand scheme of things, but when you've got guys like that, you need to rely on them in games like this.
All right, thanks as always to Scott Bates, Farmers Insurance Agency, Centennial Securities, for their presenting sponsorship of Game Night on Michigan Sports Radio, helping us bring moments like this. A regional champion is going to be crowned in just 2 quarters here at West Ottawa. Both teams out from their halftime breaks. It's the home white jerseys for Hudsonville tonight. Eagles in blue across the chest. Numbers in blue, trimmed in gold. Blue and gold trimming down the side. The Big Reds in their traveling black uniforms. Numbers and lettering in red, trimmed in white. And the Big Red logo on either short leg. Left to right across your radio dial. Muskegon will get the ball to start the second half of play here. 8 fresh minutes up on the board. Same lineups that opened the game will open the second half. Sidnor, the stutter steps, top of the key, bounds in the lane, hangs and scores off the window. First points for Anthony Sidnor, and he did that with some authority, Chandler, 23-18.
You're right away attacking, not wasting any time. Dykstra, again, had the feet set, looked like he was trying to draw the offensive charge, but not getting the call. Saw that a lot in the first half, but not getting it there.
Top of the key, Shamray. Hands off left corner for Dykstra. Dykstra, jump pass, right wing, Vanderveen to the right corner for Dennis. Up top for Heath-Heiss. Heath-Heiss for Dennis, right corner. Up top, Dykstra. Left wing, pass to Shamray, poked and stolen by Anthony Sidnor III. The senior to the top of the key, right corner for Day. Up top, Briggs. Briggs bounds in the lane, no up pass, right corner, Sidnor. He'll take it out right wing, watched defensively here by Shamray. Eagles working a switching man-to-man, no middle defense right here. Top of the key to Briggs. Defended by Dennis. First minute gone, third quarter, 23-18 Big Reds. Right wing, Sidnor. Looks at the basket, steps inside the arc, launches along 2, and a high arcing shot is pure for Anthony Sidnor. He has 4.
Sidnor was going to just put the shot up from the wing, but waited an extra second, allowed the screen from Davis to get set, takes one step to his left, and gets the separation that he needs.
Dykstra, top of the key, handoff for a curling Shamray. Left corner to Dykstra. Staring at the basket, starts a dribble, crosses left, turns his back on Davis at the block, bounds in the lane, gave a shoulder, left hand flip shot short, race to the rebound, touched out of bounds by Terrence Davis. It will stay with Hudsonville. Great work right there on the box out by Dykstra as Davis got the last piece of it on its way out. 6:25 in the third, 25-18 Muskegon.
Those two have been battling all night long. Davis and Dykstra going back and forth. Post touch again for Dykstra. Davis getting just a piece of it. Ended up going out of bounds off of him. Good work by Dykstra, but nice defense on the interior from Davis.
Shamray left corner. Pass up top for Dennis. Out of his reach. Rolls into the backcourt. Over and back is called. Muskegon takes back over on a bit of an unforced error right there. 6:20 in the third. 25-18. Left to right over the timeline. Here comes Sidnor. Hudsonville going man-to-man on the half-court defensively. Day, right wing, Sidnor. He's got 4 in the third quarter. Up top for Briggs. Briggs will back it out. Wayne State commit, leading scorer in this game with 11. Stops right block, up top for Sidnor. Sidnor bounding into the lane, stripped to the ball at the free throw line, rolling on the floor, tie up. Alternating possession will go Hudsonville's way. 5:56 in the third, 25-18. We've had a lot of tie-ups. We've had a lot of offensive fouls. We've had a lot of contact in general in this one.
Yeah, a lot of whistles, but right there, it looked like the Eagles might have had a chance to get the steal. They'll settle for the jump ball in the possession, but missed opportunity to potentially get a steal and a chance to move a little bit, try and turn that into offense.
Muskegon bringing some full court pressure right here on Shamray to pull off over the timeline. Shamray pass right corner. He was looking for Dennis. Dennis didn't know it was coming. It goes behind him, out of bounds. Again, those two miscommunicate. Force the ball away, and Muskegon takes back over the 25-18 lead. Another very critical feeling moment right here. Jordan Briggs over the timeline, defended by a crouched Jonah Dennis. To the right wing, Briggs, keeping a right-hand dribble, crossover. Gets a screen set, rolls around at top of the key. Throws left wing to Sidnor. Sidnor will back it out, throw in front of the timeline to Briggs. Around to Davis, screen right wing. To the right corner, Briggs. Drives, handoff, Davis all alone. Jams with authority with 2 hands. 27-18, timeout Hudsonville.
Looking for a great place to buy a used truck or car? Check out Extreme Truck and Auto Center, located at 1098 O'Malley Drive in Coopersville. They have a huge selection of trucks, cars, vans, and SUVs. Stop by their lot or give them a call at 616-384-3777. You can check out their inventory at xtacenter.com.
All right, welcome back to West Ottawa Game Night on Michigan Sports Radio. Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timmer with you. 5:19 in the third, 27-18. A big run here from the Big Reds, and now they're going to go full court pressure, trying to keep the run going. Inbounded to Heath Heiss. Lineups that open the second half remain out there. Heath Heiss over the timeline from the near side, right to left. Offensive foul on Dykstra, running into Davis. First foul of the second half, 5:11 in the third, 27-18 Muskegon. Jovan Daniels will check in here for Heath Heiss. And Muskegon takes back over.
Daniels urging his teammates on there to step it up on the defensive end. It's dangerous moments, as you talked about right now for this Eagles team. A 6-0 run to start the second half, and really not a team you want to be down a lot late in the game. We've seen this Big Reds team, the way they're able to close games out. You don't want a double-digit deficit. You're probably not going to overcome that late in this one, so big moments right here.
Second foul right there on Dykstra. Briggs right side, bounding into the right corner of the ball, defended by Dennis. Up top for Day with a bunch of space, launches a 23-foot three, rattles out, rebound Davis, floating put back, hangs on the front rim, and goes down good. 6 for Davis, 29-18.
Strong rebound from Davis, goes up and get it. Not just an easy bounce right to him. He had to go over top and secure that one.
Jovan Daniels over the timeline, run into by Day, and a foul is called on Day the third, the senior. Near side inbound, that's the right side for Dykstra. Throws into Jovan Daniels. 4.5 in the third, 11-point lead for Muskegon. Daniels, skip past Dykstra, top of the key. Dykstra, left wing for Dennis. Dennis backs in the lane, right wing, all alone. Dykstra, triple try, falls short off the front rim. A run to the rebound, secured by Davis. Nearly halfway through the third, Hudsonville has not yet scored this quarter. Step back three, Jordan Briggs, left wing is pure. 32-18 Muskegon.
Big Red starting to feel it a little bit, getting some momentum, starting to hit some shots. A step back three falling there after a missed three from the Eagles.
Shamray, top of the key, split a pair of defenders, drives, reverse layup, short, rebound Davis. Tied up by Dennis, who's able to fling it out there. Muskegon to run. Briggs lobbing Cunningham. Left-hand layup on the alley-oop is good. Timeout, Coach Elliott. 34-18 with 3:46 in the third. And the Muskegon faithful are ready to blow this place up. Did you know that roller skating is in full swing? Terry Hall Roller Rink in Granville is open Thursday through Sunday with a variety of hours to meet your family's needs. Visit terryhall.com for details. All skate, everyone skate. And if you tried the hottest new restaurant in the area, the Derby Tavern in Jamestown is on everyone's list for fine food and beverage, where friends gather and every hour is happy hour. Visit thederbytavern.com for details. Atmosphere is getting electric in here, Chandler, but unfortunately for the Hudsonville faithful, it isn't necessarily on their side right now. We have seen all Muskegon in the second half, as they so far have blanked the Eagles in the second half, while they've gone out and scored 13 of their own.
Yeah, 13-0 run to start the third quarter. Eagles did everything they could to stay in it, control the speed of the game in the first half, but a couple mistakes, turnovers on the offensive end, some mistakes on the defensive end, and Big Red's making them pay for it, starting to show some of that elite shot-making ability, getting out in transition as well, getting some easy baskets.
We saw a score update from one of the other Michigan Sports Radio games going on right now. Unity Christian's leading Grand Rapids Christian. So Scott Sudsma continued to pull that off. Saw Carson Viss suffered a pretty nasty-looking injury against Hamilton. The Sailors rolling at this point in time in that game right now. Chandler gives me an eye roll when I say that, so obviously it's by even more than I last saw the score was. Hudsonville's got the basketball back up the floor. Handoff up top for Dykstra. 3:38 in the third, 34-18. McFall down the right side of the lane, whips the hands free. Two-hand shot falls short. Rebound on to Davis. Briggs to run. Briggs stops right wing. Up top, Day with a bunch of space. 23-foot three. Cashes it in. 37-18.
Big Reds probably had a chance. Davis running the middle of the lane, open. They didn't find him, but they get the open three from Day, and he hits it.
Right wing Dennis with space, launches a three, low arcing shot, short. Rebound ripped down by Cunningham, thrown on for Day. Day bounding into the lane, reaching shot around Daniels, no, fight for the rebound, tips to the corner. Dennis has it, settle down here for Jovan Daniels. Inside 3 minutes to go in the third, 37-18. Pass down low, Dykstra turns the back, reverse layup, short, but a foul on Davis will send Dykstra to the line, and finally a chance for Hudsonville to break the seal off this second half. This Muskegon team is good, Chandler.
Yeah, they're very good. The Eagles going to take this opportunity, though, to hopefully slow the game down a little bit, stop the nature of the way this thing was turning and getting Dykstra to the free throw line, give themselves a chance to reset here a little bit.
First free throw, Dykstra, good. He has 3 in the game. It's now 37-19. Couple substitutions for either side right here. Mackay Guy, Elijah Langston check in. Griffin Baker checks in. Muskegon, they were making some statements on Monday. They're making some statements on Wednesday now. Absolutely a team that has the Breslin Center and beyond in mind. Second free throw rattles out, no good. 1 of 2 at the line for Mason Dykstra. 2:48 in the third, 37-19. Briggs right wing with it. Defended here by Dykstra. Briggs directing some traffic to the top of the key. To the left wing, Briggs. Reaching past Cunningham, settles it down at the block, clutches. Shot falls short, rolls off the rim, but a foul will send Stanley Cunningham to the line for a couple right here. 2:34 in the third, 2 fouls now on either team in the second half of play. That foul is on McFall, his second.
Cunningham able to get some positioning along that left block. Get in front of, or rather behind Baker, and then McFall forced to have to come over at the last second to try to help.
First free throw is strong. 1 more coming up here for Cunningham. 37-19 Muskegon with 2:34 in the third. Bends the knees. Right hand free throw. Rattles home. 3 for Cunningham. Some full court pressure on Daniels from Guy. Daniels beats it behind the back dribble. Lost the handle top of the key. Stolen by Guy on the floor. On for Briggs. Briggs cut off right elbow. Directs traffic, flips it for Sidnor, top of the key, defended by Shamray. He'll back it out in between the rings. 2:14 in the third, 38-19. Sidnor, left wing. Defended by Shamray, feeds left block Cunningham. Jump pass onto a driving Langston. 2-hand shot blocked by McFall, but a foul will be the third on the Hudsonville junior. And that will send Elijah Langston to the line for a couple right here. 2:03 in the third, 38-19.
Muskegon offense, again, the extra pass from the left block across to the right. Creates the opportunity, the defense overreacting, trying to crash on that left side. Able to get that 1 more pass behind the defense.
First free throw, high off the back iron, no good. James Martin, the freshman, will check in for Muskegon right here as Sidnor will take a seat. 1 more at the line for the big guy. Langston hits that one. 39-19 here. So many other huge games around the area on Michigan Sports Radio, like I said as well. Eric and Bob got the coverage of those, but thanks also for joining us here this evening in Division I at West Ottawa. Left corner, Baker, catch and shoot 3, got it.
The Eagles hoping that's a shot that jump starts their scoring a little bit. Gonna need a big comeback here, gonna need a lot more shots like that to fall, and it starts with the corner 3 from Baker.
Guy trapped up. Feeds left side to Cunningham, rips it away from the Eagles, who have moved into a half-court trap defensively. Guy right side for Briggs. Briggs driving into the lane, gets all alone, and lays it in off the window.
Briggs' ability to change directions there with the dribble, split between the defenders, and then nobody underneath the basket to help out.
Shamray, top of the key around an extra screen. Turns his back on Guy, left wing for Baker. Lobs left elbow, Dykstra. Hand off Shamray, stops left corner. Shamray will start the dribble and back it out in front of the timeline. Final minute of the third, 41-22 Muskegon. Dykstra left wing, peers at the basket, starts the dribble. Driving into the lane, fouled on the floor. He wildly flung up a shot and made it after the whistle. Actually, the officials are going to talk about it a little bit, but it will be on the floor. That foul is on Langston. A lot fewer fouls in the second half of play right now. Just 3 on either team after both teams are well into the bonus in the first half. Day will come in for Briggs. 52 seconds to go in the third. 41-22. Baseline left inbound here for Griffin Baker. Left corner Dykstra. Up top for Daniels. Left corner Shamray. Bounds around a screen. Left wing. Launches a triple. Rattles out. Rebound to a leaping David Day. The Aquinas commit to run. Throws one all the way right corner. Driving to the basket. Martin. Euro step. Worked around left wing for Day with 35 seconds. Defended by McFall. He'll start the dribble. Shifty crossover move right there. Faking left. Pulling it back out. Day with it in front of the timeline. Day backing. Going left. Going right. McFall staying with him. Day turns with 20 seconds. He'll curl top of the key, waiting for the final shot right here. Left wing for Guy. Guy for Day, nearly stolen by a reaching McFall, diving in the backcourt. Extra pass left corner to Martin. Driving. The freshman jams it. It rattles around, goes high, and then falls on a lucky touch. 43-22 at the end of 3. It is all Big Reds right now in this one. We will be right back for the final quarter.
Jerry opened the letter. An eviction notice? He and his family couldn't bear to move again. It was warm and they had plenty of space for their acorns. Anxiety took a hold of him. Then suddenly,
you've got squirrels in your engine and they chew through the wiring.
And it was covered, thanks to a farmer's agent. Engine Bay Squatters, May 23rd, 2015. Talk to farmers. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Contact the Scott Bates Agency today at 616-531-3441. Your local farmer's agent who helps you plan for the unexpected.
I'm Randy Hansen, president of Centennial Securities. I've heard it said that professional coaches measure success in rings, college coaches measure success in championships, and high school coaches measure it in titles. But youth coaches measure success in smiles. At Centennial Securities, we're like the youth coach. Our success is measured by the smiles on the faces of our satisfied clients. If you're a Centennial Securities customer, you know what I mean. If you're not, isn't it about time?
Member SIPC and FINRA.
All right, welcome back. Final quarter from West Ottawa is up 43-22. Nate Dreyer, Chandler Temmer with you. The lead was 3 at the end of the first half, and it was all Muskegon in the third frame.
22-4, the scoring there in that third quarter. Muskegon starting to get everything to drop for them. Really able to control the game, play their style a little bit reversed of what the game was for Muskegon on Monday night, where they controlled the first 2, and the third was the one where they had some issues. Here, first 2 kind of bobbled up a little bit, and then the third just exploding.
All right, left to right across the radio dial. Muskegon gets it. Hudsonville will go to a 1-2-2 three-quarter court trap right here. Skipped right wing today over the timeline right side to Cunningham. Up top, Briggs. Left wing, Sidnor. Left corner today. Hesitates. Works baseline. Turns the back and whips it around Sidnor up top for Briggs. Defended by McFall. Briggs to the free throw line. Down the left side. Loses the handle on the Day. Day drives. Ducks the head around the defender. Reverse layup is good. 8 for David Day. Coach Guy is yelling at Jason Martin, the official, right now after the play, as Hudsonville will get right inbound. 7.5 to go in the fourth. 45-22 inbounded here to Jovan Daniels. Left side, Dykstra over the timeline. Dykstra crossover, drives on Davis, turns the back, spin move, floater, good. Nice little move right there from Mason Dykstra. He has 5. It's 45-24.
That's what the Eagles had working early on when they were able to really get in their offense, get Vanderveen and Dykstra some touches there. Dykstra able to use his dribble.
Sidnor drives around Dykstra, clutches midair, left hand push shot short, rebound down to Dykstra. Daniels throws over the timeline to Baker. Left block, McFall will pull it out left corner, turns into a 3, missed it all short. Cunningham runs to the rebound. 6:50 and less in the ball game. 45-24. David Day up top for Briggs. Right wing back to Day. Catch and shoot 3. Splash. $11 for Day. 48-24 Muskegon. I said it again. I want to say it one more time. This team's really good. Really good. Like Breslin Center, a couple wins at the Breslin Center good. I know there's some East Side teams that think they've got this thing sewn up. I'm not sure they do. McFall to the top of the key, up fake, mid-range jumper, splashes that one down. Good work by McFall. He has 5, 6-11 in the fourth.
Yeah, seen some of that from McFall, another guy that can create his own shot in this offense. Hit a 3 earlier.
Day, catch and shoot 3, top of the key, falls short, rebound Davis, put back off the window, 360s and falls. 8 for Davis. Great work by the junior. We talked about how big that matchup was, and in a lot of ways, he's really won it down low. Daniels pushing the pace. Left corner McFall all alone. Triple try off the back rim. No. Rebound Davis. 5:45 in the fourth, and Muskegon slowing things down a little bit right now off the miss. They lead 50-26.
Yeah, going to see the script flipped a little bit now. The Reds going to be the one that are going to go a little bit slower. Got a chance to go right there, but
drive from Briggs is good off the window. Briggs now with 18. Shamray pressure in the backcourt here by Sidnor, who's facing him up, jumping in his face, putting a couple hands on the basketball. Shamray, top of the key, loses the handle. Sidnor diving on the floor, steals the ball, calls a timeout to get the possession. 5:16 in the fourth, 52-26. It is all Big Reds right now in this one for certain. CT, welcome inside. West Ottawa right here. Quick message also from the Grand Rapids Sports Hall of Fame, who celebrates the city's rich sports history by honoring prominent West Michigan athletes and those who have contributed greatly to sports on a local, state, or national level. The GRS HOF also presents annual events in support of West Michigan athletics and raises funds to support local youth organizations and charities. Follow the Grand Rapids Sports Hall of Fame on Facebook and check out pictures and biographies of all 181 inductees online at GRSHOF.com. And if you heard the exciting news that Michigan Basketball Academy and Storm Basketball have joined forces to bring you the best basketball experience in West Michigan. For more information, visit MichiganBasketballAcademy.com. All right, CT, I want to talk about this Muskegon team a little bit more right now because, man, they continue to just impress me unbelievably.
Yeah, I think the way they played in the second half, I mean, they got bottled up for an entire first half, but the way they responded, they stuck with it and eventually got to the game they wanted. You can see, you can go up and down. We'll go through the scoring, I'm sure, at the end of the game, but the difference in the first to second half and the amount of guys, it's not just one guy taking the game over. They've had multiple guys stick with it and have really turned this into an impressive game.
Out of the timeout, Hudsonville will go 2-2-1 in the three-quarter court trap this time. Right side to Briggs, thrown over the timeline to Sidnor. Sidnor, long Euro step, leaning left-hand shot, no good. Extended fight for the rebound, secured by Watson, who's back out there for the Big Reds. Skipped up top for Briggs to reset the offense. Hudsonville working out of that 1-2-2 right here. Matchup zone. Left wing Briggs. Defended by Miller, who's on the floor for the first time. Briggs into the lane, loses the handle, but it rolls on to Day right wing. Up top for Sidnor, defended by Jovan Daniels with 4:40 in the fourth. Sidnor, right wing Briggs. Briggs out of the trap, right wing for Sidnor with 4.5. Daniels comes out to meet him. Skip pass left side to Briggs. Briggs will back it out. Briggs is trapped. Briggs is eventually fouled by Baker. So a foul there, just the fourth. Muskegon, again, shot 34 free throws in the fourth quarter on Monday. I promise you one thing, Coach Elliott is not going to do that as Coach Thomas did for East Kentwood on Monday. I think a little bit different coaching philosophies at how a game goes at the end for each of their two squads and styles in general. But it was a fight to the end for East Kentwood. And for us as broadcasters to not walk away. Top of the key, Day, right corner, driving the lane. Martin jump pass to the left corner, nicely poked out of bounds by a reaching Jovan Daniels. It will stay with Muskegon. 4:08 in the fourth, 52-26. Impressive the way that Muskegon quieted the Hudsonville crowd. Got their own going in this one. Lob pass looking for Briggs out of his reach. It's out of bounds. At first it's ruled out off of Muskegon, then it is ruled to have been tipped by Hudsonville. It will stay with the Big Reds.
Yeah, Briggs right away signaling that it was deflected, I think by the inbound defender. He right away saw that and let it fall out of bounds.
Into the backcourt for Briggs. Defended by Baker over the timeline, and Baker will foul him, trying to harass him for the basketball. 52-26. 15 foul with 4 minutes to go. That's the fourth on Griffin Baker. Jonah Dennis will check in for him. Shamray on the bench right now for the Eagles, getting a rest. Sidnor, left side inbound, got it left wing to the big guy, Justin Watson. In front of the timeline, left side to Sidnor, trap, jump pass to Briggs. Briggs trapped from behind, feeds down low, all alone. Martin driving to the basket, two-hand dunk attempt blocked by Dykstra on the Heath Ice. Right wing for Daniels. Up top, Miller, swung left wing to Dennis. Daniels, starter step from the freshman, down the left side, long floater. Cannot get the friendly touch, hung on both sides of the rim, would not fall. Martin, fellow freshman to the board. Briggs split a pair of defenders over the timeline and gets fouled. That will be on Dennis. 3.5 in the fourth, 52-26, 16 foul on Hudsonville, the second on Jonah Dennis.
I think Daniels is going to be a really interesting player for this Eagles team. Still just a freshman, but can already see the potential right there, the ability to get to his runner in the lane. Unlucky bounce off the back iron, but he's seen some serious minutes in this game and is only going to continue to develop.
Martin left block, elevates, clutches, scores over top of Miller, and a foul. How about that freshman, though? The 6'3" Martin. Now, Jovan Daniels is built more like a freshman, I would say for sure. 5'6" and 135 pounds maybe. James Martin is not built like a freshman. At 6'3" and very big, and the first free throw is good for him.
Yeah, there's a little size difference there. A couple different ways of getting things done.
We've seen Muskegon's football team have guys like Martin for a long time. This basketball team, too. Dennis, Euro step in the lane. Right-hand flip shot is strong, but a foul is called, and he will go to the line and will shoot a couple. 3:16 in the fourth, 55-26. Fourth team foul on Muskegon. Dennis at the line. The junior has 4 in this one. First free throw rattles out. And again, this Hudsonville team, they're going to have to replace Dykstra and Vanderveen inside, but pretty much everyone else, Heath Ice leaves, but almost everyone else is coming back for either their junior, senior, or sophomore seasons.
Yeah, they lose some of that physicality and size that they rely on, but you've got still got Shamray coming back. You've got other guys. Daniels, of course, we just talked about. McFall, another guy that all are going to be coming back, and some skill players for this Hudsonville team.
I would argue the best JV team in the OK Red, quite possibly as well. Briggs over the timeline, grabbed and fouled. He'll go to the line for a 1-and-1. 3:08 in the fourth, 55-27. That foul is the third on Gibson Heath Ice, the senior. And we'll send Jordan Briggs to the line. Briggs, Wayne State commit, has 18. He can get to the 20-point threshold at the stripe right here. First free throw is no good, rattles out. Heath Ice down to the board. He'll slow it down right to left over the timeline. Now push pass looking for Miller. Martin got his hand in there, stole it away, sent down to the floor. Bodies crashing everywhere over the basketball. Expert play by Day to roll it on to Sidnor. Then diving onto the floor, Dykstra pokes it out of bounds in the backcourt. It'll stay with a baseline inbound from Muskegon. Both these teams fighting really hard down the stretch in this one, despite the score at the moment.
Can't question the effort from either team. Big lead for the Big Reds, but 3 different players from each team, 6 total, all hitting the floor, going for the loose basketball here in the final minutes.
Day over the timeline, feeds Sidnor. He's triple teamed and skips right side for Briggs. Down low, Martin, the freshman, elevates and lays it in. He has 7, 57-27, a 30-point lead.
Yeah, when he was going up, Martin, I think, wanted to throw that one down, but maybe at the last second, realizing he wasn't quite going to get there. Defender in the area, just laying that one in.
Crossover from Mason Dykstra, off his foot, dives to the floor and regathers. And then Heath Ice trying to feed Dykstra, has a pass that gets tipped to the right block onto Dennis. Dennis flies to the basket, corrects midair, scores off the window with 2 hands, and gets fouled. So that will send Jonah Dennis to the line to shoot a couple right here. A line change for Muskegon. Briggs, Day, Sidnor, and Watson will take a seat. .220 in the fourth, 57-29. Dennis, first free throw at the line, short. Long rebound goes back to Dennis, drives, right hand, flip shot, no good. Rebound ripped down by Keyshawn Johnson, a 6'5 sophomore. Hands off for the 5'8 freshman Arquez Petty. On to Martin, drives, floater, good. 9 for James Martin. This kid's really good, by the way, for a freshman. Here's Daniels, right wing defended by fellow freshman Petty. Drives, floater off the side of the backboard of the block from Langston. Rebound down to Dykstra. Jump stop, turns, reverse layup blocked, and a foul. 1:52 in the fourth, 59-29. I mean, with some of the youth we're seeing right here, I know for a near fact, even with all the seniors that are losing, this Muskegon team probably going to find a way to be back. But even this Hudsonville team, we very likely have got a chance to see this matchup. Now, I know Northview and some other teams are going to reload next year. First free throw good for Dykstra. He has 6, but we're seeing some of the youth that these teams have, and it's a lot of skilled youth, especially this Muskegon unit right now with 6'5" and 6'4" freshmen and sophomores. Makes you wonder what the future there looks like. Maybe a little bit different looking, more powerful team going back a couple of years of that sort of team. Full court pressure on to Petty, given on to Martin. Crossover dribble, jump pass over the timeline to Oliver. Oliver drives and jams with the left. 61-31. Final 137. Sorry, CT.
No, Big Red's just really most of this fourth quarter been able to really hunt for some of those big plays, some jam opportunities for some of their younger players.
Skip feed, Dykstra, right hand shot is good, and a foul. 9 for Dykstra. He can get in to double-digit scoring on what will be his final night in a Hudsonville uniform. Certainly not the end of his athletic career. He's going to go play football for Coach Anise in Ferris State next year. Announced that middle of this season. Rattles out the free throw. Joey Miller had the rebound. It's ripped away from him by Keyshawn Johnson, who then gets fouled by Jonah Dennis. 1:24 in the fourth, third foul on Dennis. 61-33, and the Big Reds to the line for a 1-and-1 right here. By the way, MGN news today, or in terms of our normal coverage, congrats to Cam Regneris, Granville Center, signed with Grand Valley State. Coach Mann there, so anchor up. I'm a Grand Valley alum. Good choice, young man, and maybe they'll take that deal D1 like we've been hearing whispers of for the last few years. Free throw too strong at the line, and Hudsonville will take it back over. Final 1:20 the ball game, 61-33 in the regional championship. Right corner for Daniels. Daniels, right wing, Dykstra. Peers the basket, launches a three. Too strong, long rebound up top to Daniels, who didn't have to move a foot for it. Daniels, crossover, step back, long three. Off the back iron, no. Rebound poke to the corner, taken by Martin. Knocked out of bounds then, away from him by a diving Jonah Dennis, who is fighting to the absolute end. And Dennis a little slow to get up and get some help, and will walk it off right here. 1:02 in the fourth, 61-33. At this point, mostly just waiting for a guy like Dykstra to get his final moments, along with Heath Ice in a Hudsonville uniform. Right wing, deep catch and shoot three. Dykstra, splash. 12 for Mason Dykstra, 61-36.
Even though a tough loss for those seniors, a cool opportunity there for Dykstra, knowing he's got a chance to put up a few more shots, add to his scoring total in his final game there, and hits the three.
Petty no-look feed, poked and stolen away by the Eagles and taken by Jovan Daniels. Daniels, handoff, right wing, catch and shoot three, Heath Ice. And he wedges that one between the backboard and the basket. That'd almost be more memorable for him than if he had cashed that in on maybe his final shot as a senior. 34 seconds to go in the fourth. Alternating possession stays with Hudsonville. Heath Ice to throw in. Heath Ice lobs right corner out of the reach of Daniels. Kind of some miscommunication as Daniels was cutting left, the ball was cutting right. And Muskegon takes over with 33 seconds, 61-36.
Hudsonville team that just doesn't make a ton of mistakes like that, and that's just I saw a few of those to start the second half, and that's kind of what led to the snowball effect. That's all Muskegon needed to really turn this thing up a notch and open it.
Martin evades the full court pressure, then gets run into. No foul called. Right wing Oliver down to the right block, spinning into the lane. Langston fouled on the floor. He will go to the line for two into the double bonus. 21 seconds to go in the ball game. 61-36. The chant from the Hudsonville student section is thank you, seniors. Dykstra, Heath Ice on the floor right now. Terpstra, Vanderveen, and Beamer on the bench. Free throw. Too strong. One more coming for Langston, the 6'7" sophomore. 6'7" sophomore, 6'5" sophomore, 6'3" freshman. I think Muskegon's going to be okay when they lose these trio of terrific senior guards. Free throws up, and it's good. 62-36. Here is Jovan Daniels. Off the right side of the floor, the freshman Hudsonville also going to be okay. Handoff, Dykstra. He'll launch another deep three. Off the back iron, rebound secured by Johnson. He is fouled. 9 seconds on the clock. Not quite Monday night, 62-36.
Not quite. I'm having flashbacks a little bit when you see that one there. 9 seconds left. A couple more free throws for the Big Reds.
So long we don't get back-to-back timeouts with back-to-back-to-back timeouts with 18 seconds on the clock. Keyshawn Johnson, 6'5", sophomore at the line. First free throw too strong. He looks back to the bench. One more here for the sophomore. Dribbles a few times. Bends the knees. Free throw. Rattles home. Got the friendly touch. Johnson on the board. Here's Daniels with 8 and less. (63-36). The Muskegon Big Reds are regional champions again. They will move on to Caledonia in the state quarterfinal next Tuesday as their march to the Breslin Center continues. For Hudsonville, it's the end of the road, but what a year for Coach Elliott's team. A district championship, a win over Rockford rival in the semis, and I tell you what, through halfway in this one, they gave this now 24-2 Big Reds team one heck of a scare.
Yeah, they really battled for that first half and able to execute the game plan that I'm sure they had talked about in 2 days preparation to this. Gave it everything they had for the first couple quarters. Just this Muskegon team, rather, just so good. And finally really running away with things in the third quarter. But I think that just says just how good this Big Reds team is more than anything for the Seagulls.
Yeah, some really blowouts across West Michigan. Now, of course, Unity Christian and Grand Rapids Christian, that game on Michigan Sports Radio. I'm sure most of you have moved over to that game at this point in time. Anyway, that one's close. South Christian beat Hamilton by nearly 40. 63-36. But again, the story out of that game is, the story of that game, Carson Viss injured. That'll make whoever they're playing, whether Unity or Grand Rapids Christian, a much more interesting matchup in a game that's probably going to be played at Van Ord Arena, I would assume, in the quarterfinal in that one. All right, CT, we'll take one more break, come back with some scoring, come back with our Centennial Securities Player of the Game, and get out of here. Congrats to the Big Reds, regional champions again for Coach Guy's team.
The sinister cries haunted Mary through the night. Dawn neared, and still the voice tormented her. She ran towards the safety of her car, flung open the door, and a coyote had somehow gotten locked inside. But the damaged interior was covered, thanks to Farmers Insurance. Coyote Carpool, August 1st, 2015. Talk to a farmer's agent. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Contact the Scott Bates Agency today, 616-531-3441. A proud supporter of MichiganGameNight.com.
Can you identify your number one personal trait? The thing that you do better than most others? If not, this may be a good time to think this through. If you're really good at writing, then why use the phone? If you're great on the phone, why use email? If you have exceptional human relation skills, why sit back and let others lead? I'm Randy Hansen, president of Centennial Securities Company. Playing to our strengths is something we do very well at Centennial. And if you're already a customer, you know what I mean. If not, isn't it about time?
Member SIPC and FINRA.
All right, welcome back here. Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timmer, game night on Michigan Sports Radio. Muskegon, 63-36 regional champions over Hudsonville. Bates Agents postgame show. Chandler, our scoring recap, and we'll get you your player of the game.
All right, for the Eagles, leading scorer was Dykstra with 12, Dennis with 7 points, Vanderveen 6 points, McFall 5, Baker and Daniels each with 3. Of note there, Braden Shamray did not score in this game.
Wow, that is an unbelievable note. That kind of live time I didn't even think about. Of course, spent some time on the bench with foul trouble, but that is the note of the game. On to Muskegon?
Yep, on to the Big Reds. Leading scorer for the game, Briggs with 18 points, Day with 11, Martin 9, Davis 8, Sidnor with 4, Cunningham and Watson each with 3, Guy, Langston, Oliver with 2, and Johnson with 1 point.
All right, Centennial Securities player of the game, Jordan Briggs, had 18. In the same way, Sidnor kept the offense going for them on Monday night. He was just kind of the constant factor. Even in the first half, he had 11 in the first half when his team was struggling and the game was slow and the offense wasn't where Muskegon wanted it. He certainly was the one that kind of kept things moving along in that regard. Briggs, the Wayne State commit, I think making that coaching staff he's going to very happy with this kind of performance tonight in a game of changing paces and styles.
Yeah, it really was a sure hand out there for this team, and what a luxury for Coach Guy when you've got 3-4 guys like that can do that on any given night. Tonight, Jordan Briggs' night, he had 4 triples, only a couple free throws tonight, but scored a couple lay-ins as well, but really doing a little bit of everything, knocking down some shots from deep, though, especially.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's wrap this thing up. Again, we talked about Hudsonville, such an impressive season for them. They've got a lot coming back. This Muskegon team, they're getting their regional trophy right now in front of the student section. Like I said, this team's really darn good. They'll be at Caledonia for the quarterfinals. Stay tuned to at MI Game Night for what exactly our schedule for the rest of this week and for next week looks like. We're between either being at that game or Calvin Christian. We have a couple different matchups that we are potentially looking at being at Chandler. But this team is definitely going to factor in not just to the quarterfinal game, I don't think just to the semifinal game, but I don't know who won North Farmington, Orchard Lake, St. Mary's tonight. Likely whoever's in that game. I saw some media people from the other side of the state calling that the state championship tonight and getting a little bit cocky about it. Look out for this group of guys from the west side because this team, they proved tonight, you grind them down. Yes, they already lost to North Farmington once, but give them another chance for the way they executed slow tonight. Look out.
Yeah, I think they're definitely going to be prepared for that. In a game they were uncomfortable for a while, showing that they're going to stay calm. They're going to get to their game eventually, and I think they're definitely going to have something to say about that and some of the teams I think they've got it wrapped up.
All right, absolutely. Thanks for tuning in again tonight on Game Night on Michigan Sports Radio. Muskegon, regional champions yet again here at West Ottawa. A little different than the last time they and Hudsonville played back in 2015 in 4 overtimes. A clinical performance from Coach Guy's team. For Chandler Timmer, for everyone at Michigan Sports Radio and Michigan Game Night, I am Nate Dreyer signing off. Again, stay tuned to at MI Game Night to find out where we're going next. Potentially some girls Breslin Center coverage, but especially next week, boys quarters, boys Breslin Center. We're going to be super, super busy. It's the best time of the year as we're closing in on East Lansing. Thanks for tuning in, everyone, and congrats to the Big Reds. To head over the timeline to Gable. Gable straight to the basket, elevates, slams it down over top of Orbaugh. Oh my goodness, the tomahawk jam.
The ball is tipped, and there you are. You're running for your life. You're a shooting star, and all the years.
Driver pounds the rock, looking for a passing lane. Got some motion going, got a right corner for Haglund. Pounded defensively by Dudley. Step back 3 for the lead. Buries it pure. Kobe Haglund, 40-39 West Ottawa. A step back triple. Absolutely cold-blooded from Haglund. Giving on to Titus. Titus angles, pull-up shot for the lead. Good. Brady Titus, a scream to the heavens after he knocks it down. And the Hudsonville Eagles are state champions for the first time in school history. They bob at center court. Head coach Casey Glass, in his 12th season, has taken the Eagles to the mountaintop. They are state champions. And it's the ultimate revenge for Tri-Unity. Another state championship for Coach Keeler's squad. The defenders of Tri-Unity Christian, state champions in Division 4. 56-45 the final.